This is professional radio, gentlemen.
And it's front-wheel drive.
Scotty, have you got anyone you want to thank?
Just myself.
And now we do the after hours. Dun, dun, dun.
Gentlemen, what would you go for?
Dacia Sandero.
Okay, and because it's not a supercar.
But it is.
It's not.
Automotive perfection comes in the form of two letters, A and U.
Long live my LTD.
Welcome to Car Talk. It's Tuesday night here at 90.9 Northwest FM. It's me, Matty J, on a line with Mr. David Prince and Mr. Turbo himself, Mr. Anthony Falk. How are you, gentlemen?
Doing great, thank you. Busy week.
Busy week?
And yeah, back here in the lovely land of Oz with our delightful weather.
You've had a busy week. Families come back from overseas. What's it like to have them all under your roof again?
It's
Chaos?
Great.
It's great.
Chaos is leading it.
So glad to hear that, David Prince. That's great. I saw your post. You said you seemed so much happier when she rocked up, and you were looking forward to it for so many weeks. It just felt like it was coming for a long time, and then now it's officially happened, and you've got some really lovely time to spend with your family, which is really good. We are also joined by Edward Bunting. How are you, Edward?
Hello, good evening.
I have somehow fixed my Zoom.
Well done, Matthew.
Very good.
So yes, well, good to have you guys on board. Edward, good to see you. Anthony, good to see you. David, good to see you. Let's crack on with some car updates, gentlemen. Mr. Turbo Terry.
Look, there's been a little bit of an update, not about the Volvo. The Volvo is still going nice and strong and having no issues. I'm currently in the territory because I'm boxed in by Jess's current Everest. But the most recent news has been a new addition to the car club at the moment. The Mrs. Everest has been somewhat replaced with a slightly newer Everest.
Okay.
So ended up finding this one up in Queensland of all places.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bit of a too good to be true sort of price, except for when we've done the checks, it actually all lined up. Okay. So a 2020 Everest Trend, exact same as what Jess currently has, which is the 2-litre 4-cylinder bi-turbo setup on it, for $30,000 in the end, with 44,000 Ks.
It's pretty good.
That's super low.
So we did the RACQ check up there. I contacted the Ford dealership up there who's been servicing and maintaining it for its life, which was all good and all clean, no issues, no problems with it. A few little cosmetic niggles here and there, which is to be expected still with a 6-year-old car, but the main kicker was the fact that it's got so little kilometres on it. So
Did you be looking for that?
Jess's car will be, her current Everest will be up for sale shortly. That's now got just coming up to 110,000 Ks, which I mentioned to Mr. Bunting, who's throwing it out to his cohort of car dealership friends to see if anybody is interested before it goes live for private sale.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll sort of see what happens there. But at this stage here, we've now got Turbo Terry, we've got 2 Everests, we have the Crown, we have the Volvo, and Mum's little Peugeot was her daily for 3 people.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Anthony, that's the way to do it.
Nice work.
So if anybody is interested in a bi-turbo Everest that's been in the family since 30,000 Ks with full Ford service history, hit us up.
Yep, absolutely. There you go.
I've got a question.
Sorry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Did you go searching for that car, or did you just happen to come
You go, Dave.
the new one?
Did you hear Ed's question?
I did not.
Aha.
Can you hear me, Turbo Terry?
So go again, Ed. We'll see whether I might be able to hear.
Can you hear me now? I reckon you can't hear me.
No, I'm getting nothing.
No. Okay. Well, I'll ask. Was the
hang on. Why can David hear me, but Turbo Terry can't hear me?
Good question.
I have no idea what's going on.
What's going on with that?
I'm getting nothing on that end of things. I'm only hearing Matt and Dave at the moment.
What the hell is going on?
No.
We're not having a great start to the show, gentlemen.
No, you're really not. Oh, look, Dave, you can repeat the question on Ed's behalf.
Well, I don't know if it was the same question. I was going to. Oh, actually, I do know because I heard the question.
Just
from Ed.
ask your
He
question.
asked the question: did you go looking for that car, or did it just appear? Did you just find it randomly?
Look, it's a bit of both, because Jess was umming and ahhing whether she wanted to get another Everest again, or whether she wanted something a little bit different and get a Volvo as well. So she was umming and ahhing. We did have a look, just physically sit in a XC90 D5 that was around the corner from our joint. She liked it, but was not that specific one.
Yep.
And then, because Jess's car is due for a service in about 500k, so it is coming up for it too.
Yep.
It was a bit of a case of it's a good time to get rid of it while it still has a level of value in it before things get too long and hairy in the teeth. Once it gets, up to 150 and beyond, once you got the wet belt that has to be considered and everything else like that.
Mhm.
So it was then like, all right, well, let's see what else sort of is around and as an option. And then this one here happened to pop up. And I think we must have got on it within like the first maybe week that they had it. It was through, what is it? Easy Auto 123, one of those ones where it's like, haggle bottom price sort of dealerships.
Oh, yeah.
And
was
then
one a privately owned car, or was it
was it a business car?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd need to have a look at the photo of the books to see what it said. But, look, I think there was a handful of marks here and there, but you'd think if it was a business car, that would have more than 40,000 Ks. But who knows?
Can you ask Turbo Terry if it was an ex?
Yeah, I didn't get that far into the questioning of it.
Okay. Anthony, Ed is asking a question. You still can't hear him, but he said to ask you, was it a police vehicle, perhaps?
I definitely would say no.
Too tidy for that.
Yeah, way too tidy and way too many, way too little kilometres to be an ex police car.
Well, the reason I asked about I bought about 4 Hiluxes in a row back in the day, one after the other every sort of 3 years, and they all had 45,000 Ks on the clock, because that's a time when often they would get rid of them, sort of local government and sort of council sort of owned vehicles.
Yeah.
There's something about turning them over around that time. Obviously, they're very popular with councils and government and that levels of government. So it may well have been one of those sort of cars, and that's never a problem because they're usually serviced.
I think it's highway patrol.
Anthony, what am I get you to do?
Tell him what I said.
Anthony,
I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear him now.
Oh,
I just did then.
Hello,
Repeat the question,
Terry.
Edward.
Terry, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Mr. Bunting.
What the hell is going on? I firmly believe that's an ex-highway patrol car.
Oh, absolutely. That's the covert Everest. It's actually been LS swapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's exciting news. Congratulations to Jess. It's a nice purchase. It's a good car.
Yeah. So I think at this stage here, again, I'm waiting to get the phone call because obviously you do your remote funds and wait for that to clear before the transport company contacts you and everything like that. But I'd imagine, probably the end of next week it should be ready for pickup from the depot. And yeah, everything's said and done.
Well, you know what's the best thing you can do about this, Anthony?
There's lots of things I can do about it.
You can take all the damaged bits in the new one and swap them over with the other car.
Well, look, that's what I already said to Jess as well. I mean, it is a different colour, but I mean, I said for the interior floor mats, we've got rubber ones in Jess's car. I don't know whether this one is like the pre-molded sort of ones that you can sort of get, because that's what it looks like in the photos. And I said for the tyres and the rims and everything like that, because ours are spotless, we can change those ones there out, and then that's fine. We did get like the Schmick service, so I think it was like $600 for 2 years. So all the little nitty gritty things that there are with it, we'll just in 6-12 months time we'll do a claim and pay the $50, and they can fix all the little imperfections. I think there was maybe the RSEQ guy said there was like 4 or 5 little almost like hail dings on the roof.
That's why it's cheap.
Yeah, always. No, I think he said there was like 3 or 4 that were on the roof, and I think there was one that was on the bonnet.
It's been in a Queensland hailstorm.
Exactly.
And it's an ex-highway patrol car.
Exactly.
This is getting better and better. Matthew's new sound effects.
I've got new sound. I've got,
awesome.
ladies and gentlemen, I've got new sound effects on there.
I love it.
On here,
He needs,
so
he needs something to tide himself over these days.
I absolutely do. You know, I'm here till next week.
Yeah.
Does it have to be next week? Can it be soon?
I know. I've found my new favorite buttons, gentlemen. This is really good. This is
Those buttons are
going
very
to be a long
familiar
show.
from when David and I did some podcasting a while back. The same sounds were on our board thing.
Well, I'm glad I've got an oh my god one. I've got an applause. I've got a laugh clap. I've got a drum roll. I've got a bit of the sad trombone, big applause, sarcastic laugh, and a cassette swap. So if you want to,
Cassette swap.
One. Yeah. Let's try that one.
Put that on. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice. So we're upgrading here on Car Talk, gentlemen.
It's pretty special.
Definitely something.
Absolutely.
The console working properly.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I still don't worry, under control. David Prince, updates with you. Besides your lovely daughter and family coming home, what is happening in your car world?
In my car world, I got went to see Mr. Super Cheap and got I think the Trident is the brand, the temperature sensor for the 94 Accord. So the mechanic well known to Mr. Bunting and I is looking at doing that next couple of days for me. The SI cord still resides presently at the mechanics. I haven't, I've had my hands full with other things and I haven't even contacted him to see. And he hasn't contacted me, but he knows that, I'm not in desperate need of that car for any immediate use. What else have I done? I've driven the N1 a couple of times. That's about it. Oh, I did clean out the ZRV and give that a good clean and a good tub in our kids are taking that over. So that saved them having to look for a car and baby seats and all that sort of thing. That was the reason for the new purchase of the Hyundai. That is still getting used to the bings and the bongs and the different way of doing things, but a little bit better each time. A little bit better each time you drive. Although I couldn't get off the sounds of the forest the other night for some reason.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's about a dozen like soundtracks that you can choose if you don't want the
music,
any other audio on. And there's sounds of the forest. There's a spring day. There's sounds of the city. Yeah, which I really don't think you want that. I don't think that's very relaxing in a car.
No, you don't want that.
I tell you what, though. They are quite relaxing besides the one in the city. Like it feels very tranquil.
It does. It's really good. I mean, you wouldn't want to be in the car by yourself after a long drive. I reckon you'd drift off pretty easily. Off into Nine Island. No, there's a few things coming up this week. I'm actually involved tomorrow in a live feed on YouTube for Honda, who are doing a sort of mini restoration modification process on a third gen Prelude. At a workshop in Mulgrave that's going over 8 hours, I think. It starts at 1 o'clock or 12:30 or something, goes through to 8:30 tomorrow night. So that'll be interesting. I don't quite know how it's working, but I've organised a few cars and people to bring their cars along to that. That'll have happened after this episode goes to air, so there's probably not a lot of people. I'm sure it'll be on YouTube as a watchable after that. Oh, and this Sunday coming up is the 40th anniversary of the Integra weekend. We've booked a really cool little coffee roastery in Moorabbin for that, Rubia Coffee in Alex Street. And yeah, we'll have every generation of Integra lined up there and some good coffee. So that'll be a nice way to start a Sunday morning. It's going to be cold on Sunday, so coffee will be good.
Very exciting. Edward Bunting, updates with you.
Yeah. Speaking of cold, on Sunday just gone, I took the Moke on a nice drive. My first drive ever with the Moke Club. I've been to other events, but not drives, So they started right near my house, and I just thought, well, come on.
That's the one to go.
That is, you can't really not go on that. So Matthew was meant to join me, but had other priorities. So a second Matthew was dragged in, and last minute, fortunately, he was available. And
Thank you to Motor Trader Matt.
thanks, Motor Trader Matt. So yeah, that was great actually. So started in East Malvern, wound around the streets a bit, sort of out to Burwood Highway and out the back of, I don't know, when you go out into the back of the Dandenong, Sassafras and Alinda and out that way. And then wound its way across to Coldstream, appropriately named.
Yes.
And we had a little bit of a snack there and then dawdled all the way home. But it didn't rain. I was okay with the cold. I just didn't want to be wet and cold.
Yes.
Because that will promote sickness.
Mm.
So, and the Moke was running very happily. Those old British cars like cold air, you know, they're happier in cold air, even though it was assembled in Australia. But yeah, it was running really well. And the oil leak that it had a while back where it was pissing out of the rear main seal and onto the ground, that seems to have fixed itself with use. You know, the seal's obviously sealing better than it was just with a few drives. So so I'm happy about that. So yeah, that was a fun day. What else have I done? Sold the Volvo. The Volvo has gone to a new home, and what we like even more about that transaction was the lady that bought it traded a very tidy little Corolla.
In parts exchange.
A part exchange, as Mike Brewer would say. And we do like a Corolla.
We do.
So it's the full district nursing spec being white hatch auto, 2011 model, but really tidy car. Like normally you get an old Corolla and it's had a bit of a life. This thing looks fresh as. So
can you believe a 2011 Corolla is now 15 years old?
That's wild to
yes,
me.
I know, yes. So
How many Ks?
187. So
Okay.
it's done a little bit, but great service history and rego till next year. So that will soon be for sale.
Nice.
In fact, one of the guys at works wants it for his father-in-law, maybe. So we'll see if that might not even need to be advertised.
Is that an Ascent or an Ascent Sport?
It's the base district nursing Ascent.
Ascent. Which is
You can't-
good because the steering wheels on all the Ascent Sports are completely munted now.
Yeah, well, no, this wheel is great.
Yeah, well, they were. I think they had the plastic wheel or the
Yeah,
final
it's
wheels
got like
still,
a
whereas
grip. It's sort of like a crocodile skinny grip, grip.
Or the Ascent Sport went to a faux leather one, and they've
Oh,
managed
yeah,
to
no good.
disintegrate. They're shocking things now.
Well, this one is good. I mean, yeah, really. I was just going to ask you after the show, David, for Toyota 040 white touch-up, unless
Oh
Matthew
yes,
gets me some, and I thought you've probably got a tube of that.
I think I've got a few of those. Yep.
Yep. So just needs a couple little spots on the bumper bars. So that's the Volvo out, Corolla in. What else? Ooh, I've agreed to buy, and I haven't seen it nor picked it up yet. But on paper, I've agreed to buy a 121 Metro Shades, the little boxy van one,
Yeah.
in a manual, done 140, and also with
case.
next year. So good case, very good book.
Nice.
And it looks like a real little tidy car. That's from someone you and I know, David, in the motor industry, who contacted me and said, "Hey, this little plum's come in. Same place I bought the Saab."
Oh, nice.
So,
Okay.
and I said, "Oh, that's a bit of me. I'll have that if if you need it gone." Yeah, I might be picking that up Saturday.
Nice.
What else can I tell you? Moke, Mazda. That's a Mazda, Volvo. I think that might be it. We talked about driving in the big girl, Matt, the other week.
We did, yeah. It was great.
Big girl's resting.
She's sleeping.
That's it.
In hibernation.
She gets so tired. She gets so tired to be going.
In her old age.
In her old age, yeah. She's 40 something. She's over 40. Yeah, that's it in the car world. I don't think I've done anything else.
Lovely. Car updates with me. I had my Fiesta serviced last Wednesday.
How is it? Did it get a good bill of health?
Yeah, they said it's totally fine, as it should be.
As it should be with 10,000
This
cars.
case on it. So he's like, "Oh, this is your last cap price service." I'm like, "I'm well aware. Believe me, I'm well aware." He's like, "Oh, this service." He's like, "I can't believe we're having to do this at 12,000 kilometers, but we've got to do spark plugs. They did all the filters and everything." I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's part of
That's part of it.
So get it done.
Do it.
They also replaced the clip that was a bit how you going from factory, so that they replaced that, and they gave me a spare one in case that breaks. So thank you,
Nice.
thank you, Jefferson Ford. That was some good
Which
service.
clip is that?
Tick, tick.
Underneath the dashboard, one of the underneath dash covers. It was just a bit. It wasn't like fully seated properly, and they're like, yeah, no, we'll replace that for you. So replaced it, gave me a spare one. They're like, look, it shouldn't happen again, but here's a spare one anyway. I'm like, sure, I'll take that. Old out your hand. So they gave me a Mark E GT to drive for the day,
Ooh, hello.
which was quite a quick car, isn't it, David Prince?
It is quite a quick car, yes.
Yeah.
Quick car.
Say unnecessarily quick.
Yes.
Some would.
That
Not
hurts
everybody. Not
hurts your
everybody.
insides.
It does hurt your insides, actually. It's
Yeah.
it just like
It's like Luca's nitro thing. It hurts your guts.
it does hurt your guts when it comes on.
But it's different with Lucas Nitro thing. Is you hear it, so you're sensing it. You've got that sensation.
Yeah, whereas this is just
instantaneous and just you feel the wheels scrabbling for grip.
Mhm.
yeah.
And, the thing just launches. It's nuts.
Yeah, it is a very, very quick car. I think they're like just over 3 seconds or something to 100, which is pretty wild. They so it was actually, it's not a bad thing to drive. It drives like a car, which is what you'd hope it would, and it also like it handled quite well. Like it is heavy. I like the color that I had, Grabber Blue. I thought that was quite a nice color. Don't think it's a bad looking vehicle actually. I think it for kind of an SUV-ish electric car, it looks good with its big Brembos and everything. So yeah.
In that spec, it looked better just purely because it had the black. Where the grille should be was actually black. like a grille. So it's sort of that to my eyes that
Had
just
a car look.
a little bit more car-like than
Yeah.
Absolutely, and for some reason you only get that on the GT spec, but whatever. So then, I mean, that car's about 90 odd K, and it had done over 20,000 Ks, but and it was, well, by the time I finished it, I had just over 20,000 Ks, and it felt tight as a drum. There was no rattles, no squeaks. Had probably one of the best sound systems I've ever been in a car. Had like the subwoofer in the dashboard and everything. It was pretty impressive. It was an impressive piece of kit. I also see why Ford isn't selling them, because they are quite pricey for what they are. But I guess what electric car isn't for kind of that level of performance and spec. But look, it's always nice driving other cars, and as I said last Tuesday's show, I don't hate EVs. I like EVs. Controversial car topic. I think they're they've got their place, and I'll keep enjoying my 3-cylinder little car outside that I've driven today. So that it kind of makes sense for that. But I think, Anthony, you had as a loan car a GT Marquee, correct?
I actually didn't mind it. Again, for an electric vehicle, again, as we know it was only put forward as the Mustang name for emissions reasons and things like that. But no, drove really well, comfortable. The kit inside it was good as well. Like, if I had the choice between, like, go the standard Tesla fanboys or, go for something, I think, to be honest, if it wasn't the Mustang name and was something else Ford related, would probably have done better than what it is. But in saying that, I would happily, I'm not the one who goes out and buys an EV, even though I've got a hybrid. But, if I was given one, I would not complain. And it would be one, if I was looking at an EV, that I would consider for something that isn't just a Tesla or something else that fits in that sort of categories of things as being still a little bit left field. But it still shouldn't be called a Mustang.
Ford don't have good history in regards to that, have they? I think when I was in Scotland last, I sent you a photo of a Capri. Which was not a Capri. Not the Australian one, not the British one from the 70s. And Puma, they did it with Puma. It's they've got to stop that. There are other animals in the
Just
kingdom.
Stop it.
No one's fooled.
Just be like Mitsubishi and get a Starion.
A Tida is not a Pulsar.
No. But see, they went different and they called it a Tida, even though it was called a Pulsar in other markets, and that shot himself. That shot him in the foot. That didn't do well for him.
Yeah, they should have kept the name.
To be fair, that wasn't
That's
a great car.
No, it was a terrible car.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's interesting to get that opinion. What was your opinion on it, David? Were you surprised about it, or?
Yeah. Look, certainly it was very capable in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
I think, and I echo your comments that if only it wasn't called a Mustang, it was not a bad looking car, and especially that color. It's great color, and had plenty of room in the back, and the interior was really nice. Still not a fan of the great big pads in the middle. That's just not a thing I'd embrace anytime soon. I
No,
like buttons to push and knobs to turn,
I completely agree. Completely agree.
which a lot of manufacturers are going back to, as we've discussed previously. Because it's not just me. It's not just an old person thing to say. It's
Absolutely not.
What are they going back to? No screens or buttons?
oh
Buttons.
no, as well as so screens.
So an
there's-
integration between the two.
But yeah, a lot of them have got now volume buttons and heating controls buttons and dials and stuff as
Yeah.
well, which is a lot more intuitive, I think.
Absolutely.
One thing I'll say with the Volvo, it does have that, not as many buttons as I would like, but it definitely does still have, like if you've got your demister, if you've got your volume button, if you want to pause music, I mean, you can do that still anyway through the other ones. But I mean, you've at least got those options, but it would be nice to have more. But again, we're in that category of individuals who, don't change something that's not broken.
I'm in a bit of agreement with all of you for that, but I see why Ford had to make it. When I returned back to the dealer, though, I did speak to the dealer that sold me the car. Shout out to you, Jake. You're great guy. He every time he sees my car, he's like, that was a fun one to sell, because one of those things that he just sells Rangers and Everest these days. That's pretty much all he sells. He also said that there is nothing else. He's like, if you were to replace that, what would you buy? He asked me that question. I'm like, look, there's really nothing else that would kind of fit that bill. Like, there's an i20N, but like Yaris GR is too much and stuff. So I said, yeah, there's nothing else that you could actually replace that with. And he's like, it's such a shame that Ford stopped selling little fun hatches or hatchbacks in general. Like, so his daily drive is a little Ford Focus, and one of the later ones. And he's like, it's a great car. It's a shame that they didn't market them, didn't sell them. And I said, yeah, well, Ford did market. He's like, yeah, they didn't help themselves, and they've shot themselves in the foot a few times with a few of their marketing things that they've done. So, I can see why Ford there have been grumblings of bringing back the Fiesta and Focus nameplates, but only time will tell. We'll see.
Don't do it unless it's the right car.
Correct, absolutely. So there's been talks of them bringing the Fiesta back based off the new Renault 5 electric car. Which
I like the Renault 5 electric car.
It looks cool.
Great.
Yep, I would agree. So it'd be the same chassis as that, which is apparently in development. So apparently it's a good thing, I guess, because it's electric. There wouldn't be much to go wrong, but they'd probably have to do a petrol version if they're wanting to hit that market. But we shall see what happens in the not too distant future. Now, Edward, you and I spoke yesterday.
I can't remember what about, but yeah, we did.
We mentioned the topic for this evening, which is, what would that profession drive?
Oh, yes, we did talk that, yes.
Now, we're all for stereotyping here on
Love a sweeping generalization.
absolutely a sweeping generalization. And we made some pretty, how would you say it, sweeping generalizations on the phone yesterday. But I got thinking, cars are synonymous with people, like MX-5s with hairdressers and stuff like that. Even though I've never ever seen a hairdresser drive an MX-5, I don't know how they get.
I don't think I've ever met it. Well, I mean, I don't really go to hairdressers anymore, but when I did, I don't recall any of them driving an MX-5.
So,
prior to the MX-5, it was a Celica.
Really?
Yeah, that was the hairdresser's car.
That was the hairdresser's. From day one, from early 70s, that was, it's a bloody hairdresser's car.
So is that another word for just saying girl's car? Is that what people are just trying to make it out to be?
I think it was.
I think so.
I think it was more a car that was, maybe a bit more show than go. It was, a bit more on the cosmetics than the substance of the motor.
Hyundai S Coupe, we're looking at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tiburon. Yes. Paseo.
I kind of like a Tiburon. I think they're cool.
I don't.
Yeah. All right, I got shut down pretty quickly then.
Yep. Well, there's a one. Who bought the Hyundai Tiburon?
That is a great question.
Who was the buyer of that bucket?
I'll tell you who the buyer of that bucket was. Were an older couple who, yes, wanted a last car. That was their last sporty car. Kids are out of the nest.
When you say older, like 50s?
Yeah, in the 50s.
That old.
And they've bought that car because it was a cheap sports car. And of course, they got into automatic because they were all virtually automatics in them.
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't think
it's like their last ditch fling at some skerrick of youthfulness, and they get the red auto Tiburon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to be even more specific. I'm going to actually say it wasn't couples. It was ladies who turned 50.
Ooh.
So they said, "I'll have a Tiburon, thanks."
I'll have one of those because it's a Hyundai.
It's
an
still
upgrade from my Excel.
It's still sensible.
Upgrade from my Excel or my Land.
Or my accent.
Yes, yes. Yep.
Why can't I have a two-door sports car? Why can't I go a bit silly? But I'm not breaking the bank. I'm not spending 80. I'm spending what were they? 37 or something?
They were about 40K, weren't they? Like on the with everything.
No, it wasn't that much more than the top of the range Elantra.
I'm going to look that up now. Hyundai Tiburon.
Yeah, how much was a Tiburon?
Red book. Tell me the original price.
Where are they now?
Oh, geez, that is a.
I was chatting messaging the other night our friend Andrew about the Festival of the Unexceptional, which he can't go to in Europe, but the idea of it being here, of course, we're all on board with that. And I was thinking, what we're talking about the definition of what makes an unexceptional car, which is sort of hard to pin down until you actually pick it apart a bit. Anyway, I was thinking, what would I take to that if that event ever happened in Australia? What would I take, And I was reminded the other day of a Daewoo Espero.
Oh, that's a good car.
I thought, that was like the
card-carrying member of that club.
Say that again, David?
That car is a card-carrying member.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It is. Because it was the big Daewoo. It was trying to be European. Well, it was based on a European something, I think. But
it was a European design, I think.
I think so, yeah. And they crapped on about that in the ads constantly.
They did.
But I thought, where are they? You couldn't find one, except I do know where there is one.
Yes.
But I thought that's almost worth buying if it was cheap enough, and just waiting for that event.
Imagine rocking up in a Daewoo Espero that would be very.
Espero,
you would win the event. You would win that.
I don't know if there's prizes. Most boring car or something, but they actually look okay. That's the thing. An Espero, it wasn't a horrible looking car. It had a bit of Citroen Xantia about
it. Did.
Certainly did.
Yeah.
A bit of NSU R080.
A little bit, yeah. I'm sort of. The more I think about it, the more it interests me.
I'm going to find one and I'm going to send it to you, and you're going to have to, and you'll be like, oh, bloody hell.
I went looking around Australia on Marketplace the other night for sale for a Daewoo Espero.
Wow.
Nope.
Wow.
I know where there is one that is for sale, but it's not advertised. So anyway, if you want to find one, I don't think you would.
This is the Car Talk equivalent of insider trading, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to sidetrack.
Opportunities.
So who bought a Daewoo Espero new?
Oh.
I think a retired couple. And they will get the bigger car because we want to do a few longer trips.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But again, still a Daewoo, so it's not breaking the bank there either.
We can fit the babies, like the grandkids, can come in the back seat with us.
The Espero, yeah.
They didn't want to go to the Leganza though, because that would have been silly. That was too excessive.
Too excessive.
No, that was. That was the equivalent of a Hyundai Grandeur.
Grandeur,
as we call it, the delusions of Grandeur.
The delusions.
The Hyundai delusions. So what other? We talked about Alfa Romeo.
It'd be a great number plate, wouldn't it? Delusions.
Delusions
of. Delusions. You put the badge on the back. Delusions of.
Just to get back to the Tiburon, they were 36,780 excluding government charges, so they're about 40.
So it would have been 40 on road. Yeah.
In what year was that? That
was 2010. That was right at the end of their run. They had quite a long run actually. That last model Tiburon. It was like facelifted like 4 times. I'm gonna
Wow.
go back to the first one that they did, because I really like the first facelift. I think the first facelift, like that mid 2005 with that blue. I think I've already picked out the color like an idiot.
So you're looking for a Tiburon to bring to any.
I think that'd be a cracking car to bring to Festival of the Unexceptional. That would be the car. When they were first released in 2002, how much were they? Let's have a look. 35,880. So yeah, they didn't really go up much. And they had a 6-speed manual if you could find one. That which was a bit of woo.
Yeah, 6-speed manual. That was a novelty back then. We talked the other night about Alfa Romeos and who buys an Alfa Romeo, and I said it's these are very passionate people, creative souls, often work in design or need a creative sort of pursuit. They're not accountants. Don't buy Alfa Romeos. These are people who will sacrifice a bit of resale and reliability for passion.
Passion and
That's
emotion. And
Yes,
emotion.
emotion.
The hilarious thing is that one of my best mates who did my apprenticeship with, he actively went out and he ended up buying a little Alpha as his commuter to and from the work sites
What
and
was
everything
it,
else
like
like that. So,
What Alpha was it? What model?
148.
oh,
A Mito?
I can't
The
remember.
little baby one?
No, it was like the not manual, like the auto weird fucking
Seller
shifty one.
speed.
I'll find it. Yeah, it was one of the seller speeds.
Oh yeah,
that
156.
Terrible transmission.
Yeah. No, I gave him so much shit about it, but yeah, no, he absolutely loved it for what it was. But I mean, he is not a car person by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. So tradies can fit into it for an Alpha.
Well, I'm going to say, like, hear me out, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for saying this, but I don't think a lot of people that buy Alfa Romeos are car people.
Ooh.
And
I say yes and no. Yes and no.
I think you get both. You certainly get people that buy them because it's the look and the bright red paint and the chrome and the whatever.
I think there's no middle ground.
No, that's true. You either get the passionates who just love the look and the emotion, or it's a real, when I say real Alpha, like an old, beautiful 105 series Alpha or something, or a GTV from the 80s. Yeah, then you're a car person.
Well, I mean, just for the shits and gigs of it, I mean, I do believe I sent you a couple of Alphas, Matt, when I was looking prior to buying the Volvo of a Quattro, Formaggio, whatever else it was,
And
little
what
SUV, and
The
more.
4-cheese Stelvio.
Well, she's still
Yes.
great.
Yes, I was just like, maybe, and then I was just like, no, I just can't. I can't. But I have seen them around, and they do look good.
I believe my response was to you, do you want pain? And then question mark. I think that was my exact response, and then you just proceeded to move on to Volvos.
Well, look, admittedly, there wasn't very many that were in my price bracket that were, not 150,000 Ks on top of it as well. So I mean, it happens.
What other people do we want to stereotype with their
Well,
car?
before we get to that,
I've actually got one because I mean, just going off the day we sort of started the thing. Rover 416i.
Oh, now
Rover
just be careful
416i.
what you say here.
David's got to go in and defend them to the hills.
I'll tell you who bought that. Rover 416i. That was definitely older conservative people. They sort of probably liked the idea of a prestige car, but their practicality really held them back. And they thought, oh, well, it's actually a Honda, so it's very reliable, but it's got the Rover plushness of the velour seats and the wood grain trim. So it was a I think Mr. and Mrs. Bucket. That's basically what they it's basically that car.
Okay.
So
The only thing I dispute about that is the majority of people who bought them didn't know they were a Honda. It had Honda written all over it,
but
literally, and that goes back to the Quintet, of course, which was never sold here as a Honda, but that the Rover Quintet was based on a Honda Quint. Well, it was a rebadged Honda Quint.
Yeah.
My godmother had one in South Australia, and she somehow, because it was a British car, and your Rover's always had a good name. I said, "Oh, really? That's interesting. I don't think they are." She said, "Oh no, it is," and somehow she managed to break the gearbox. It was a manual, I don't know what she did. So, anyway, somehow she managed, and it was in the workshop for some months because they had to wait for the parts to come from England for it.
Did they?
It
From
did.
England.
I said,
Yeah, from Japan, mate.
I don't think any part of that car's ever been to England. From England.
No, what it was is that the original parts have come from Japan to England, and then it's coming to Australia.
Yeah.
It
made
really
by
wasn't even that.
Rover.
They actually came straight from Saitama to Melbourne or Sydney. But there were a lot of them around Toorak and that. There'd be a lot of people that had money bought them at the premium they were offered. They might have had a Jag. They might have gone to Fisk Brothers in Box Hill or White Horse Motors. And
Brents, perhaps back in the
Brents,
day.
perhaps, yes, bought the Jag for dad, for the husband, and bought
And the Rover.
Rover for the little woman to go up
Just
to
to
the
pop
village.
down to the village.
Yeah.
The Rover, the little Rover.
Yes.
And
yes.
Honda Concertos were very much the same buyer, I feel.
Well, interestingly, there is a story kicking around that they were meant to be a Rover Concerto.
There you go.
And because Honda literally had the arrangement with Jaguar Rover Australia, because we were the only market where they were sold as Rovers. And then that's why the Concertos have the wood along the plastic wood inserts along the top of the doors and the dash.
Yes.
Because the outgoing Rover 416 or the 5-door Integra had the wood trim as well. So it was, and then something happened and the deal fell over, and Honda thought, we'll blow it with, we'll sell it as a Honda. So they just kept loading them on the ships, and they were always, and they still occasionally pop up with very low mileage because of the person that bought them, and they've driven them carefully and looked after them for many years.
Yeah, Concertos were someone's last car usually, and they were someone who was old, and you always see them with, it's done 130, 110. They're sort of not that rare with that. And you know what else is like that? Those are two-door Accords from the 80s.
Yes.
They were sort of like conservative a bit, or even the four-door version more so. But they're often low miles, and they're not that good, but they're often low miles.
I can tell you who bought one of those. One of the Rovers. One Christian Falk, didn't he, Anthony?
He certainly did. He certainly did. As to why I thought I'd throw it out there.
As to why, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, no, my brother, that was his one of his first cars. He had a 418i. He also did have had the Honda variant of it as well as a parts car. Yeah, so that was a bit amusing. And funnily enough, in the last,
did he have a Cordia Turbo at one point?
That was David. David had an NA Cordia, and he also had a Cordia Turbo as a parts car.
Okay.
But yeah, funnily enough, they both had very interesting car choices. And I'm pretty sure somewhere in my photo album I have a photo of him doing front wheel drive burnouts up in Wilson's promontory.
I remember that car quite well because your brother dropped me home one afternoon after hanging out at your place, and it had no carpet in it. This was the Rover, and I'm like, "Where's your carpet?" He's like, "Oh, it's getting steam. It was getting steam cleaned or something because it was just like I don't know what happened to it."
It's better not to ask.
Yeah, best not ask. It was and he drove it like a race car. It was a good time. I remember that.
Was it a manual or an auto?
It was a manual. Yeah.
That was a manual.
Well, that was attracted a different demographic as well.
It's a sports car.
Well, they were a cracking little car. I've got the 3-door hatch version sitting in the garage at the moment. They're great things.
I remember the funny things we used to do about all right, let's see how far we can how far we can get away from home, turn the car off, and get there without having to restart the car.
What? Just by rolling?
Yeah.
It's possible.
Be like, all right, we're like
hill?
No, very flat. So it'd be like, all right, we're 3 or 4 blocks from home, coming past my grandparents' place. And it'd be like, all right, just turns the car off and be like, let's just see how far we can go before we have to restart the car. And it'd just be like, get to 60 and then just try and coast it there the entire way the best you can.
Hope the wheel bearings are good.
Yeah, actually, most of the time I did pretty well. Occasionally, a couple of corners, would
cause a couple of challenges here and there, depending on which way he goes. But yeah, old 416i did the job. But no, he did. He did bring it up at one point when he came over. I think last time he was just like, "Oh, I wonder if I can find a 416i that I can then, pick up off Facebook Marketplace and just slowly restore it for whenever I come back to Australia. And this can be the little runaround car and everything." I'm like, "Yeah, do it. I don't know where you're going to put it or what you're going to do with it, but do it."
Or where you're going to find one. That's a.
There was
I would
one on
have one of
Facebook
those if it-
Marketplace today.
Is there one there?
Hmm.
Ooh. Is it
Popped up.
manual? Most of them were auto.
This was auto, I think.
Lovely car as a manual.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Food for thought. What else do we need to?
So I think in the car yesterday we discussed a few cars like in just general passing. I think one was C63, which are owned by drug dealers. Absolutely. It's a profession. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to flaunt their money. So, and this is, we're not talking about like W204s. We're talking about the W205s. The twin turbo ones, Harley included. So
But also, I feel like C63s were also bought by professional, usually guys. It's probably more askew towards a male audience, that car. And I think that they're often, they're not bad boys, but they want to be a bit bad boy. So
Real estate agents, they're both of
exactly.
them.
I knew a real estate agent that had one. Like I have to have a nice-ish car for work, but I'm gonna get that because it really barks when you start it, and I want to feel tough. So they're not drug dealers, but they're respectable enough professions, but they just want a little bit of a midlife crisis edge kind of car.
would you say that'd be the same for like M3s and M4s and like Audi RS products?
I think, yes, I would, but I think an M car is a bit more. There's a bit more substance to it, maybe, in terms of the pedigree or the being a track car sort of thing. Whereas a C63 was just like, it makes a big bark and it goes wah, 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 and makes all the noise. And it's not that they're slow or not that they're a bad car, but I think the M car is a bit more dedicated to an M car. You're a bit more of a car person maybe buying an M car, whereas a non-car person would go, give me the big C class, I think.
All right, well, here's one for you. Who would have bought a Suzuki Swift Sport new? Because I've always had this car because it's not hot enough to be a hot hatch. But it's not cold enough to be you bought by your sister. So I'm like, who? It was like it's always it's a warm hatch, but who bought them new? I'm struggling. That's the one car I've been thinking of all week. I'm like, who bought that car new? Like that, it's such a niche car to buy.
I know two people that have bought them new. I can describe them for you. One was my friend who had a Golf GTI that, of course, did golf things.
Break.
And he just needed something. He had a sort of a budget to stick to. And he said, look, I'm just going to get a Mazda 3 hatch or, just something generic, Kia Cerato or something generic. We went to Mazda. And we came away from the Mazda 3 hatch and he goes, it's okay. But I mean, it was just dull. And over the road was Suzuki. And I said, why don't we go and look at the Swift Sport? They're a cracker. And he goes, oh, okay. So took it for a fang and he goes, well, this is fun. Like, it wasn't the GDI in terms of the handling and the thunk of the doors and what have you. But it was in terms of inner city blip fun. It had a bit more spark and personality to it than a Mazda 3 with a black roofliner that you can't see out of. So my pet hates. So he ended up buying that and he ended up quite liking it. Like at first he was like, no, he had it for a week and he was like, oh, it's not the GDI, it's not it. But then after a while he's like, you know what, this is a cracking city car. This is a good little machine. So
Was that a manual or an auto, Ed, that one?
That was a auto. Had the paddles and whatnot. The other person I know who still owns theirs, my other friend ended up selling it and going overseas like a year or two later. But the other person I know, she was my very good family friend. She was 75 when she got that car. She was coming out of an older Suzuki Swift, like first gen, and which is one of the ones I subsequently owned and on sold. But We were in the dealer and we looked at Jazzes and we looked at Swifts and we looked at something, Toyota, I think the Yaris maybe, and she just liked the Swift. And I said, well, that you've had one, you know, they're very much the same sort of shape and style and the windscreen and everything. And then we drove the normal one. She said, oh, it's okay. And then we took the little Swift Sport for a fang, and she said, oh, I like that panel. Oh, I like that zip. And I said, well, we'll be having one of those. So she got a speedy blue Swift Sport, which she still drives.
Good color. I like that color.
Great color, yeah, speedy
Yeah,
blue.
great color.
Yeah. So I know what you mean, Matthew. It's a tough audience to pick. I mean, normal Swift you could reel off the top of your head. Oh, you know,
Daddy bought it for me for my first car.
Daddy bought it for my first car. You know,
That's what I was thinking.
and definitely a female
same.
skew, I think, for Swifts.
Absolutely.
I mean, I love them, and our friend, good
They're
friend,
great cars.
Rowan drove one for years, the first gen, and I think they're driven by people who are very secure in themselves. You know, they're not out to prove anything, but they know a good car when they see one. So the Sport, yeah, I don't know. I mean, how many guys are getting around in Swift Sports, or is it more a female audience? I don't know.
See, the funny thing is with a Swift Sport, the majority of people I see them driving them are males, which I, you know, when I think about it, I'm like, well,
actually, my old colleague, he had not the latest gen, but don't know if he still has it. I helped him buy one years ago, and that, male, just and had one overseas, a Swift Sport, and loved it, and wanted one in Australia. So maybe there's more guys getting around in Swift Sports than you think.
I think young-ish professional wanted a fun little car for not much money. So like you know, probably works in the corporate world in the city, likes a little fun hatch that, you know, still it's got nice seats and, you know, funky interior, and you know, can still hold its own when you go to pick up the missus to take it for a date, as well as have a bit of fun on the weekend. So that for me,
I'm a big fan, but then I'm secure. I'm not trying to prove it.
No, I'm with you on that. I think that's I've always liked them. I think they're great.
Well, look, on that exact same token on things as well, where would we put then the Ignis Sport?
That's
so
the pre Suzuki Swift.
That is a niche vehicle.
Well, it was pretty heavily related to the GTI, the Swift GTI. So it would have been that they were known for making a hotter than lukewarm. You'd have to say that the GTIs were. They were cracking little things. But I think the Ignis Sport was a gutsy thing, in the Recaro seats. There's one guy who works at a car wash in Glen Iris on High Street Road, and I saw it today again, and I thought, oh, I do like that. Put some decent wheels on that. That'd be a cool little thing to get.
Well, the hilarious part about this one too is Matt will remember the days too when we were doing Nugget Nationals. We were literally at the point of buying one to throw around the track. Yeah, and I think it was like the day after I gave him a phone call, and I'm like, hey man, yeah, look, good to go with it. And he's like, oh look, I'll still sell it to you, but I had a crash the other day, and it's going to need some work to it, but you know, I'll give you $500 off. And I'm like, yeah man, no, it's getting thrown around a racetrack. And as it was is what we were happy with, and the condition it was in, we're not throwing more money at this to fix it cosmetically, which is really disappointing because that was in the electric blue as well, and
that was cool. I had did it have the fishnet Recaros? I think it did.
Yeah.
They were really cool, really cool.
Yeah. Would not have sold that one.
No,
instead the Paseo.
Got the Paseo. Paseos were bought by old people. There you go. That's yours.
Yeah, who bought Paseo? They were pretty conservative.
Like, you got to remember, a Paseo was the same price as a TX3 Turbo.
No.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, they were. And and people still bought them over a TX3 Turbo. I don't understand how.
Well, no, because it's Toyota, and people will just buy Toyotas.
In every
how much fun did you have in that Paseo?
I'm not gonna lie, it was, I mean, to be fair, after we put some decent tires and suspension in it, it was far better. But
all we did was some semi slicks and some wrecker rims that I painted fluoro green,
and some
Yeah, I was going to say it was just springs. We didn't do suspension. It was just springs.
It was a good little car actually at the end of it. It was fun. It was I missed that car. That was good fun.
Yeah.
I like an Ignis. Not a lot of people might not, but I think they're cool.
Oh, I
Even
completely.
the new ones, you mean, Ed, are you talking?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like the new ones. They're a
You-
very simple car. They're not. There's not a lot to them, but I mean, they really do look like a roller skate.
They
But
do.
I like the little wide arches, and they're interesting looking.
Yeah, I agree.
They're not just a boring blob. They've got a bit of character about it.
Absolutely. No, I'm much on the fence, in agreement with you.
Hold out your hand.
Hold out your hand.
How much is an Ignis? I'm looking on cars.
Here's one for you. Who bought the first generation R32 Golf R32?
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's IT boys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
IT boys who are gamers. They're very pale. They never see a lot of daylight. They
Sean.
really want a Porsche. Like if
Yes.
they had some real money, they'd go and buy a 911. But no, the closest they're going to get is an R32 that's been heavily leased, and they can get away with it because it doesn't look that different to the normal Golf. So that the poor suffering partner who can never get them out of the house is not aware of just sort of what a weapon the R32
Who was, yeah.
Am I on the money, or am I talking?
I think you're absolutely spot on. Would you agree, David and Anthony?
Totally agree.
Yeah, the Golf R32. They're big money these days. Actually, they're
they?
yeah, stupid money.
Because they're so rare, because most of them broke.
Yeah, correct.
True.
Actually, believe it or not, we were one of the only markets where they didn't offer the DSG in that car for the first gen R32, which was the Mark IV Golf. Yeah, Mark IV. There'll probably be a few here as a grey import, but factory they were all manual sold in Australia.
There's an Ignis for 6,999, 17 model. That's the new shape.
Yeah, new shape. Yeah,
Done 208,000 k. 6,999. That's quite a lot of little car for the money.
absolutely. Would
Hold out
completely
your
agree.
hand.
All right. Here's. Have you got any other ones you want to talk about, guys? Before I get to my lists.
No, go to
Oh, go for it.
Who bought a Eco LPI Ute, base model Ute? Edward Bunting. Who
Me, I bought one.
Yeah.
who bought them new? Edward Bunting. Who bought them new?
Tradies, like base model Ute. These are people who aren't concerned with the XR6 and the body kit and the sports seats and the sports steering wheel. They just don't. They want the steely wheels, and they're practical people. So tradies, who are going to put a canopy on it, or put some sign writing on it. Your plumber, your electrician, your builder. This is a tradie staple, and it was in an era. There was still dual cabs, obviously back then, but it was a much more car-like and affordable.
Yep. Next one is who bought a.
And they were tight ass because they went the Eco LPI. So the gas was only back then when they were new, probably 40 cents a litre, 50 cents.
Yeah, about 50 cents a litre. Yeah.
So they were tight ass from the get go. The fact they bought a new car was astounding in itself.
Actually, I followed an Eco LPI XR6 Ute the other day.
Was it Tommy? Tommy's what Tommy's got.
Oh, is it really?
Is it
XR6?
silver?
Oh, no, is it like a charcoal grey?
Oh no, his is silver.
Okay.
Lightning strike.
Lightning strike.
Yeah.
Lightning strike.
Yeah, well, they look great in an XR6, and Matt has been sniffing for one, and one of the ones that came up on car sales, I think, was an orange tangerine cream.
Oh, no.
XR6 Ute. Now, it wasn't an Eco LPI, it was the e-gas, but still dedicated gas. Just a little bit older, but cracking spec. Anyway, missed out on that
Tangerine
one.
Dream.
Yeah, it was a great colour. And there's one that's been doing work at a house a few doors down from me, that car, and I wondered if it was that car.
It could probably
It was the same colour, and it was on gas.
Oh, there you go.
I thought, how many of those are there going to be?
Now, I've obviously chosen which demographic fits for it, but what trade specifically do we think is going to be in the LPI?
That's a great question.
I think
I've got my thought.
It's got to be a chippy.
I was going to say chippy or plumbers usually more have vans, don't they?
They do have vans.
They
yeah.
do.
Yeah, it's probably more chippy. Yes.
I'm going to throw the curveball and say a painter.
A painter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, could be a painter.
Or concreter.
Concrete.
Yeah, because you can
Don't
fit you,
concreters have trucks, like big trucks?
you can put your mixer in the back.
Yeah, you put your little mixer in the back
Oh,
for small jobs.
He's the guy that the council hired to fix up the footpaths.
I mean, let's be honest.
like
How many painters are in a Falcon where it's got the canopy on the back and it's just absolutely covered all like spilled paint and everything else, or over the back tailgate? And
In the
things
back
like that.
tailgate. I was going to say the back.
Like, let's be honest, that's going to be more ideal for an LPI than anybody else.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
These next few ones, I'm going to ask based on the cars that you gentlemen own. Who bought those cars new? So, Anthony, who bought your Territory Turbo brand new?
It's going to be somebody who had moved up to the family but didn't want to get rid of a level of a performance car.
Okay.
They have sold off their
WRX.
Yeah, something like that, and they still want a car that makes the spoolie noises.
Mhm.
But it has to be the family commuter, and they have to justify it to the other half.
Okay, and what profession would they be in if they're able to afford a Territory Turbo?
Oh, that's a good one because they are not cheap.
No, they weren't cheap when they were new. They were very pricey.
Look, I could say a project manager
Mm-hmm.
because I could still use that as a bit of a work-esque car.
They could write it off.
Yeah, they could
Tax
still write it
write-off,
off as a tax write-off. That's probably my thought in that sort of balance because I mean, definitely it's a tradie thought to be like, how am I going to smooth this one over about buying a performance family SUV?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's fair. Would you guys agree with that?
Yep, totally.
David, who bought your red Integra brand new? I mean, we know the actual one who bought yours brand new, but who predominantly bought them brand new?
Look, a number of people. Back in the day, I knew a couple of people that had them, and they were all pretty cool people, I've got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a really nice Gothic grey one getting around. I remember back in the day, and the number plate was Euro. Be a great plate to have that now, but it was a personalised plate. It was like obviously not a hot hatch, but it was certainly a warm hatch that people could enjoy the F1. People appreciated. I mean, Honda was so big in Formula One at that time. They appreciated and they really pushed the way that a lot of the technology of that car had come through the racing program and the double wishbone suspension, that beautiful twin cam injected engine. So people and they weren't cheap. People, they had to have a bit of money, but it was certainly advertising. Advertising or again, a bit like the Rover being sensible, like probably
Stylish but sensible.
Yeah. Had a heartbeat still and wanted a bit of excitement. But yeah, back in the 80s, I mean, Honda were sort of more closely aligned with a cheaper version of a European car than another Japanese car.
They were the next best sort of choice. If you didn't go Euro, it was often very acceptable to have a Honda.
Yeah, if you weren't buying an E30, you'd go and shop an Integra maybe.
Correct. And I know people that had, from back then had plenty of coin, and they would still happily get around in Hondas. They were seen as, they were a cut above all the other Japanese brands in terms of the sort of the classiness of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the dear old girl that bought my car brand new, I'm just thank my lucky stars. She was still driving a manual, so and it was because a lot of them were autos, but in a manual they're much nicer to drive.
Much nicer car.
It's funny you say that. A good friend of mine, Mary, her and her husband used to So just for some context, he's a very, 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 very wealthy man, CEO of a company, travels all over the world constantly, and he always bought Hondas. That's all he bought for him and his wife. They just bought Hondas.
Bezos drive Hondas, driving a Accord?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he drove an Accord. Yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah. So it's very. I think you're right, Ed. I think you're bang on the money. They always thought, yep, Honda is, you're not too pretentious, but you've got some sort of class in you that you're buying a quality product.
Yep, correct. Like the lady over the road when I was in high school, the husband always drove Mercs and Beamers and Mercs. He went from a 3 Series coupe like E46 into a W124, the last of them. Then I think he got another Merc after that, maybe. So he was in the sort of the bigger Euro car, and she was in a couple of Civics, um, like an EG Civic. Was GL was her little runaround car, but they were stylish. The EG came out, the curvy one with the split tailgate. Like it's a little car, but geez, it was stylish, and it really sort of punched above. And that wasn't that cheap for a little hatch, but it was quite acceptable to get around in that as a little about town.
They sold tons of EGs. Like I used to see them everywhere. I mean, you don't see them as often as you used to, for obvious reasons. They're getting old and thrown away. But yeah, geez, you used to see them everywhere. EGs, like they were one of those, like even EK. Like you still see a lot of EKs around. I think, especially in my area, there was.
EK was still classy, but maybe it didn't quite have the impact of that EG, that curvy. The curvy glassy EG really was a stylish thing.
I really like an EG hatch. I think an EG hatch,
hatch.
With the split kind of rear end is pretty cool. I like
that. In one of the color, the blue or the red,
or that turquoise. I thought that turquoise was kind of cool. That came in.
They didn't. The turquoise we only got in the very last of the ED hatches.
ED, that was ED.
Haitian green.
Oh, okay.
You've probably seen plenty of them online. It was popular in the States.
Oh, in the okay. Well, yeah.
In an EG. In an
EG, yeah.
As well. But yeah, we never got that. We got the Captiva blue that Ed was talking about.
Okay.
Colors. Very nice color, that. What other cars you got, Matthew?
My next one was one of your cars, Edward. Who bought your 190 diesel new? Because that is you gotta be specific to buy a diesel 190. Like that.
Your name is Werner, and you are from Germany.
It's
the only cars that you would be buying.
Yes,
that's right.
The Germans.
Well, we know who bought that car new. I bought it off the original owners. Yeah, so 190, first of all, you're stretching to get into a Benz. You're not full of money, but you've got some money. So the baby Benz is, it was sort of an aspirational car for someone that might have otherwise not been able to have a Benz at all. These things were sort of 50s, 60s, thousands, not, 120, 150, 180 or whatever. So I think that car new was somewhere around 50-ish, maybe 45. In the late 80s, there might have been a bit more than that because inflation. They were quite priced. Have a look that up, Matthew. In your little, how much was a 190D in 1986? I think it was probably around that 48 or 45 plus on roads or something. So it might have been 50 drive away. So you were stretching to get into a Benz. This was probably a bit of a special car. You may not have had Benzes before. For a lot of people, those 190s was their first
Benz.
Ray into a Benz. So aspirational buyers, probably slightly older clientele, finally got a bit of money, or it's a retirement car, or maybe it was a smaller runaround for the second car, maybe, but you've got a bigger luxury car as well. Something along those lines. And now, but the diesel, 99% of those were petrol. Just give me the 190E, the 190, the 190. The diesel is usually reserved for very practical folk who like the taxi durability of those motors. So I would argue these are not fly-by-night people. These are people who plan to keep that car for a long time. Hence, it could well be a retirement car, sort of a forever car.
I'd even suggest maybe pastoralists or graziers.
You're quite right, David. The people I brought that car off, lived out in Sunbury, and they were farmers. So they were of European heritage, and that was the good car.
Yep.
And it was sort of the retirement car. Because obviously the benefit of running on diesel back then, maybe it still is now, is they get subsidised diesel, I think, to run all the machinery and what have you. And you fill up the car from the exact same, like you have a tanker that comes to the farm and fills up your own diesel, storage tank. and you can fill up the tractor with it, and you can fill up the harvester, and you fill up your car. So hence farmers used to run diesel Land Cruisers, and the good car would often be a diesel too, whether it's a Peugeot or a Merc. Back in the day, it was you could really only Peugeot and Merc were doing passenger car diesels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like back in 1985, 86, there wasn't really anything else mainstream in cars that was diesel as a passenger car or as a luxury, a nicer passenger car.
Yeah, nicer car.
So yeah, that's exactly what the car. Sunbury farmers, nice car, retirement car, diesel. Fill it up where you fill everything else, and they're not concerned about speed. They're concerned with durability.
What year is yours, Ed?
80 built in 86, delivered early 87.
So 86s started at 59,767 excluding government charges.
Yeah.
87, 70 grand, 7,400.
They-
88, 73,600, and in 89, 73,600. So they weren't cheap.
They really got up there.
That's more than an LTD. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, they really got up there in the late 80s. It was inflation central. They were big dollars, which is what helped them hold their value, the older ones, so well. I mean, yes, they held their value because they're good cars, and they had long model runs, and so you could get into an 85 190E, and it's the same shape being still sold in 89. So that helped it. But the fact that they were nearly 80 grand in the late 80s and they were 50 grand in the mid 80s, well, yeah, that also helps it because it just drags everything up.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to agree with that. And my last one is for you, Anthony, before we get to the car quiz. Who bought... Okay, so it's the early 2000s. You're wanting a cheap little run around, and you go to Toyota, you don't go to Toyota. You go to Mazda, you don't buy Mazda. You go to Ford, you don't buy Laser. You go to Honda, don't buy Civic. But you go down to Chrysler, and you buy a Chrysler Neon. Who the hell bought Chrysler Neons? That is
no one in their right mind.
Chrysler Neon.
That was your
first.
Oh
god. Well, look, technically yes. Technically, it wasn't the first car that I purchased.
No, that is.
Did you buy a Neon?
No, he didn't.
No. My brother bought a Chrysler Neon as his first car back when the Ricer age was going on from a dealership in Faulkner.
Yeah.
And by Ricer, I mean it had the full Ricer body kit.
Yeah.
It had the massive spoiler on the back. It had everything going for it. And it was manual. It wasn't the 3-speed auto. But we then decided to de-Ricer it, and the paint went on it. And then we started to rattle can it. And then it basically got to the point of just living in undercoat grey, and stayed as undercoat grey for a large period of time whilst I did own it, before I then purchased my first car.
Right.
But no, to go back and answer your question, nobody in their right mind buys a Chrysler Neon, because I can't even imagine why somebody would.
Do you think it was just because, like back then, they'd never done anything before here, really, Chrysler, or not for a long time.
Not for a long time.
They had in the 70s and what have you, but it was the first of a modern Chrysler, so it was a name that people knew. It was different, quite different to the other offerings in that small four-door sedan market at the time.
Yeah, look, I guess you'd probably be
obsessed.
thinking it like your, small family, or like your maybe receptionist sort of gets into it. That sort of category of clientele might be looking at that, where it's like, well, it's a Chrysler. It's still, a reputable name. It's, not something out of the ordinary, but, it's still a small little commuter that could be a, small family car. Or if you got, just you, your partner, and Bubs, and that was basically the three of you, and it would fit into that sort of category. And
Maybe
yeah,
just a bit
I
more
could see it.
interesting than a a Pulsar 4-door or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but they were 25 grand. Like I'm looking at how much they were new when they were new.
So there's a bit of a premium on them.
There was far more of a premium than that of like you could get into a 323 for 20, like a Shades 323 for 20 grand.
Much better car, I would argue.
Much better car.
As I said, nobody with the right mind.
Yeah.
Well,
So
hence they didn't sell that many.
no.
You know, there ain't there ain't a lot
And
of them.
funnily enough, on the whole, not selling many of them, when it came to us getting rid of it and we loaded up to the wreckers, they actually were going to give us more money for the 3-speed automatic than the 5-speed manual.
That for me is just
Why is that? What's that?
Because all
The
those
3-speed automatic was more sought after.
because they all blew up, Anthony. The transmissions weren't very good.
So you could use it for parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Whereas who wants a manual?
Yeah.
What did the person do? What was their job that bought a Neon? I'd say I wouldn't even say
They're desperately wanting to be different, but they've not got that much money.
As I said, receptionist.
receptionist or a librarian. I think a librarian would have bought a Neon.
No, librarians are too conservative. This is someone who, I don't know, maybe they're part of a pyramid selling scheme or something. And they sort of are like, yeah, come to the information night. You know, I just got a Neon, and they're into public speaking, and
they got a Type A personality.
Yeah, they're a Type A personality, you know, and they want to be American desperately because, you know, Aussies, but back then were sort of becoming a bit obsessed with American culture, so they want to be American, but they've still got no money really.
Yeah, yep, that's a good one. The leader of a.
Yeah, pyramid selling. They got sucked into Amway when they were. They're an Amway rep.
Timeshare.
Yeah, they've got a timeshare, a Neon, and they're doing a bit of Amway.
Yeah.
And their name's like, it's a guy, and his name's like, you know, Craig.
Craig.
Not Craig, Craig.
Craig. It's Craig. Yeah. Sure.
Craig the Neon driver.
That's the best one of the night. I think that's the best one. Look, I think we're gonna come back to this. I want you guys for some homework for next week to write some more down, and we're gonna discuss who bought these cars. But it is time for the quiz, gentlemen, where we ask 10 questions plus the bonus questions. Gentlemen, are you ready for the quiz?
Let's go.
All right. So I've got a few different themes tonight. I've got some music questions for cars. I've got some. I know, and I've got some brochure questions.
Brochure question.
Yes, brochure questions. All right, question number 1. Cadillacs. Sticking with American cars. Cadillac. Sure. Waiting for David to say it.
Sure.
There we go. Sure, yeah. Has announced the new Lyric has got its official Australian pricing.
Oh.
Do we care?
Not really.
Too much.
Closest to, how much is it?
What is the Lyric?
It's like an SUV. I think they've come in with 2 or 3 SUVs.
A big SUV or a medium?
It's kind of a medium. It's kind of like a Mark E kind of size, actually, to be fair.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
David, I'll go $93,800.
93,800 says David.
I'm going to go 83.
83 says Edward.
Turbo Terry.
I'm going to split the difference and go 88.
88. The answer is $95,000. David Prince. So, would you have a Lyric or would you have a Mustang Mark E? I don't know.
Neither.
If they were the only 2 cars to choose from in the world,
Yep.
I'd have the Lyric. I saw one on the road and I thought, okay, well,
Not a bad looking car,
not the worst car I've seen.
It's very interesting.
In a very
unusual. Question number 2. Honda announced a massive loss in the last financial year. In Australian dollar dues. Actually, I can play that. Hang on. Or the. There we go. That's better.
Ed.
So, Ed, how much did they lose in Australian dollar dues? I'll do closest to.
Was it 3 billion?
3 billion. I'll give closest to 3 bill, says Ed.
It was a lot.
It was a lot of money.
I'll go 4.5 billion.
4.5 billion.
I'll go $3 billion and $2.
Well, Anthony, the $2 saved you, so I'll give you the answer. That's for you, Anthony.
Dear God.
So it was $3.7 billion. That is a crap ton of money.
Sorry, Ed.
Is that? Yeah. Okay.
So
What did I go?
That's just annoying.
you went 4.5.
Okay.
So Anthony,
What was it? 3.7.
3.7.
Who's closest out of those two?
Anthony, it'd be
Oh,
because
wow.
yeah.
I'm within 600 and odd thousand, and he was closer to 800 odd thousand.
Righto.
Oh, correction. 699.
Doesn't matter, Anthony. You got the point.
Bonus. Sorry. Continuing from question number 2. Bonus question. Why,
David.
David?
It was because they put too much money into an electric car program that they then abandoned.
Well done, David Prince. That is the point is yours.
On hybrids.
The prelude also counts in that.
Yeah, they have decided to ditch a TV strategy, which is weird because
You mean the top-selling sports car in Australia?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
Question number 3. What did the letters and numbers of TX3 actually stand for? I'll give you a point for each.
David.
David got in there.
3 was the number of doors.
That is correct. So that's 1 point.
No. I'm lost.
Ed, you're in.
Was it turbo for the T and X is the four-wheel drive?
Not quite.
They weren't all turbo and weren't all four-wheel drive.
Edward? Sorry, Edward. Anthony?
I'm actually not too sure.
Not too sure?
Yeah, no. I'm
Right. I'm going to buzz you out.
Buzz it.
I'm buzzing you and Ed out. The answer is Touring Extra 3-door.
Touring.
It's a misconception. People call it twin cam, extra 3-door, but not all of them were twin cam. But it was Touring Extra 3-door. Bonus question: where were the turbo 4-wheel drive models built?
David.
They
were built in Japan, Hiroshima.
That's correct. Well done. So I feel like I'm on a game show with Question number 4. How many generations of the Holden Piazza were sold in Australia? Ed.
I think 2.
David.
David.
1.
1 is correct. Well done. That is correct. They had two different versions of it, but the second generation wasn't sold in Australia.
Yeah, whatever.
Question number 5 is we're entering our music section. The song Pink Cadillac was originally written by which artist?
A pink Cadillac, that's where it's
David, was it Aretha Franklin?
Is not Aretha
Ed.
Franklin. Ed?
Was it the Pointer Sisters?
Incorrect.
Turbo?
No, I got no clue.
You buzzed out. It is Bruce Springsteen.
Really?
Wow.
Bruce Springsteen originally wrote it. Bonus question: who did a very famous cover of this? And I'm assuming you guys aren't going to get it if you've got them all wrong so far.
Again, I would have said like the Supremes or something.
Incorrect. No, all out. Buzzy's out. It is Natalie Cole. She did a version of it. Question number 6.
That's famous because I ain't heard of it.
Yeah.
And neither is David, and he knows a lot about music.
Ryan is a quintessential rap song in the 2000s, and it's an anthem, very famous worldwide. You probably would have heard it. It's become a bit of a meme song as of recent times. By which artist? It's a good song. Ed?
Is it Snoop Dogg?
No, good guess though. David and Mr. Turbo Terry, before I buzz you both out.
David.
Eminem is not correct. That's incorrect.
I know this one too. It's like something millionaire.
Slumdog.
Who wants to be a?
I'll give you a 0.5. It's Chameleonaire.
Wow.
Chameleonaire. That's not bad, Anthony. I'll pay that.
Yep.
I'll pay that. You've gotten 0.5 there. Question number 7. Who sang the song Little Deuce Coupe?
Ed.
She's my little deuce coupe. Beach Boys.
Beach Boys is correct. Well done,
You
Edward.
don't know what I've done.
Very, very, very good. No, the reason I'm asking those questions is because I was listening to a song recently called Maybelline by Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Maybelline. What won't
yeah,
be true?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good song. So I was like, oh, that's actually, it was. I was like, maybe I could do some car-related new music questions.
Yeah, love that.
All right, last 3 questions are now brochure questions. First one: you can drive your blank all day at top speed through a desert if you have to. The blank engine is cooled by air, not by water. Since air doesn't boil, not in this world anyway.
Ed.
Volkswagen Beetle.
Volkswagen Beetle is absolutely correct, Ed. Well done. Question 2. The power to transport you to another world. Seamless progressive power readily available at the touch of the accelerator is what all true enthusiasts drive in their pursuit of the perfect motoring experience. And that's exactly the kind of precise power produced by the outstanding 2.2 litre 16 valve dual overhead cam engine of the blank blank blank. Ed.
Mazda 626 Turbo.
Oh, advanced engineering developed from Blank's connection to F1 and IndyCar, the revolutionary variable valve timing and lift electronic control system allows the engine to breathe with utmost efficiency from idle to redline, ensuring a true sports car performance and intelligently saving fuel. Constructed from weight-saving aluminium alloy, the blank blank power plant delivers a staggering 147 kilowatts of power, making it the obvious choice for a serious sports car buyer.
Oh, I know.
The engine in the blank model perfectly complements its blank sibling, achieving 118 kilowatts of power and the efficiency of this 2.2 litre dual overhead cam engine.
David, you know this.
In both power output and fuel consumption. The next bit will give it away. Programmed fuel injection allows David.
Okay. So it's a Honda.
It is a Honda.
It's the 2.2. It's the Prelude VTIR or SI in the regular one. So
well done.
Oh.
Last one, question 10. Sports Performance, the all-new blank blank. The design of the new blank blank portrays an immediate sense of sportiness and emotion. The clear glass headlamps, high shoulder lines, short overhangs, an anti-rear front and rear, and a silhouette reminiscent of a classic sports coupe clearly emphasize the dynamism. This is all just car wank. Dynamicism of the all-new stunning blank. Ed.
Honda CRX.
Incorrect. The interior design concept in perfect harmony with the exterior offers increased comfort, luxury, and style. With the new blank showcases a new range of advanced engines. The introduction of a new 2-litre FSI fuel stratified injection petrol and a 2-litre TDI turbocharged direct injection diesel engine. David.
Volkswagen Golf.
It's got to be a Volksy.
It is in the family.
I was going to say Anthony.
I was
going to say Audi A3.
Audi A3 is correct, Anthony. Well done. Very, very well done.
A golf dressed up for a prom.
It is literally a golf. It is quite literally a golf. That's what it is.
Party dress.
Golf in a party dress. That is the Car Talk Car Quiz for the evening, gentlemen. Let's do a score check. Anthony on 2.5. Edward on 2, and tonight's winner on a grand total of 6. David Prince.
He killed it.
Thank you very much.
We'll give you an applause.
Oh, thank you very much.
We do our bit for the community, David Prince, and you are now leading again on the winners list to go get your grand total even higher. But that is your Car Talk Car Quiz. Interesting cards questions. Anthony, you're writing it for next week. Don't forget. I think that's a car quiz. I think that's a podcast, gentlemen.
Very nice.
And a car.
And a car quiz.
I'll make sure that I do one part of it being that said topic, but it won't cover the whole car quiz. So I've at least got something I can fall back onto, or better again, something that you guys have to fall back onto in the event that I fail with my abilities of doing the car quiz.
That sounds like a perfect plan, Anthony. Anthony's buy, swap, and sell. Got an Everest for sale.
Yep. Anybody's chasing an Everest 2019 Everest Trend 2.2. Sorry, the 2-liter twin turbo. Hit us up. Car will be listed on car sales at the end of the week. Or if anybody's chasing a
yes,
maybe. Or if anybody's chasing an MS123 Toyota Crown with more parts than you can poke a stick at, hit us up. It's currently just dropped in price down to $6,250 with all the parts. Otherwise, can always haggle without.
There you
go. Turbo Terry is still not for sale.
Good. That's what we like to hear, Anthony. David's words of wisdom.
There's one for Ed tonight, and we talked a lot about cars tonight. I saw a Pagoda today, and I thought of Ed. And tonight's words of wisdom are: believe you can, and you're halfway there.
Ooh, I like that.
That means I'd have $125,000 to spend if I'm halfway there. Not the case.
Not the case. But believe.
David, believe.
Edward Bunting was buy, swap, and sell.
Well, there's only one car in stock currently, being the 2011 Corolla District Nursing White Auto Hatch, done 187,000. That's going to be somewhere around $9,000-ish, I think. And soon to be the 121 Metro manual. When I pick that up, I'm not sure where that'll be. I'm thinking probably it's 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
What colour is that, Ed?
It is white in a shades model. So yeah, I'm thinking that'll be somewhere around that. But I haven't driven it, haven't seen it, so I need to give it a good looking over first before we talk prices too much on that.
Nice.
That's it. No other things for sale.
Very good. Like and share our Facebook page as Car Talk TORQE with Matty J. If you miss any of our previous episodes, they're all up on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasting app. So don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review to us there. Check out our merch. Go to go to the link which is in our show notes below. You can also find us on Printlocker, printlocker.com.au. Suss it there. Support the show by becoming a patron to our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Car Talk Podcast. Hello to our patrons. We are also on YouTube, with every episode being uploaded on YouTube as well, and iTunes and Spotify. So wherever you want to listen to it, you can listen to it right there. Gentlemen, honor as always, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.
Okay, bye.
See you later.
See you guys.